where I live, I feel our school system caters to the working parent and doesn't think, like puts no thought into what the people's daily lives are like and what's really going on. So they built a middle school a couple miles out of town, okay? And the problem with that is that the high school kids get out later than everybody else does. Now, as a parent who does not work in town and does not live in town, right? It kind of sucks, some of these decisions they make, right? Because if I need my high schooler to pick up my middle school child, my middle school child has to wait literally half hour to 45 minutes for his brother to get there, which is stupid. And they're not straight. It's just dumb. It's like, come on, people, think about this. And another thing they did just this year is they called it Late Start Wednesday. So every Wednesday, the high school starts later, literally an hour later than everybody else does. Which it was to make it so that teachers could all have these meetings together. I think it might be, some of it might be training for them, but they made it sound like it was meetings so they could, coincide and whatever they do. Well, that was stupid. Stupid. So every Wednesday, right, we have to make sure that we get the middle school one to school, but the other one goes in later. Now, if you ride bus or your parents drop you off at the high school, then you are sitting there from 7:30, 8 o'clock until 9:20 when school starts. Yeah, I wouldn't want that for my kid. The problem is I know the superintendent of schools, and he is not very bright. He pushed for the new school to be built, which nobody wanted. A new high school to be built after they built the new middle school, which was atrocious. It looks like a freaking jail. They call it the prison for a reason. But the superintendent of schools is not very bright, and he's been in this community just as long as I have, and I think he makes decisions based on how he feels now. Like, he wants his kids to have a new high school. Well, I'm sorry, we don't want to pay for it. We have a high school. You just added on. Okay, it's been a few years since they added it on, but people who come up here are like, oh, it's so confusing. It's not confusing. It's pods. It's like this. It's like a spaceship, if you want to think of it that way. One hallway that is just in a big circle and conjoins everything. And then you have the 100 pod, and the 200 pod, and the 300 pod, and the 400 pod, and the 500 might go around the outside, and then So it's not hard. I mean, if you're looking for the 600 pod, you just keep walking in the circle till you see 600, and then you go in there. It ain't rocket science, believe me. But the school districts are they cater to certain people, and that's it. And it pisses me off because I just don't believe that we need a late start every Wednesday. So guess what I do every Wednesday? I get up and I make sure my son is up, and he'll be like, Mom, it's late start. Crap. Because I'm thinking, why isn't he up? It's just, yeah. And they catered to we used to have half-day kindergarten. Or no, it was full-day kindergarten twice a week and every other Friday. It was great. It was great because those kids who weren't used to getting up and going to school all day had a day in between to adjust. If you rode bus or take them to school and bring them home, you didn't have parents running around in the noon hour because if you did the half day, because you could do half day. When they implemented the 5-day full day, you could go half days. Well, that didn't work for us at all, you know? So, but it was just a way to cater to those people who worked all day. I'd homeschool. I couldn't homeschool my oldest. That's because I blame my brother. My brother told him he did not need to go to school to be a farmer. And you got to be careful what you tell kids, because he took that to heart. So when I had to send him to school, I literally had to tell him that his dad was going to go to jail if we didn't send him to school. I couldn't teach him. I tried teaching him how to write his letters and, just like I did the girls. He had no interest in reading. He had no interest in writing. I finally got him to tie his shoes like the week before school started. Stuff like that. And it was like, he was so tough, so tough. I wouldn't have been able to homeschool him. But I would love to have done that when my girls were little. That would have been fun. Yeah. But, yeah, I'm sick of schools catering to certain things, even their own agendas. And principals teachers have it hard because they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, we need to teach this curriculum that is chosen by the school district. And the state might come in and say, okay, you have to teach this curriculum, and then it filters through. And then the poor teachers are stuck with, they're stuck with this curriculum. And I do give kudos to those who slip in those extra classes like handwriting and maybe some life skills or how to balance a checkbook. Those lessons that we really need in life. How about what to do with 401k, or what the hell is insurance about and how does it work? Enough of my opinions. Today is Life with Spice. Life with Spice. We finally got there. We did it. All right. And we were discussing Tarragon. So we'll get right to the video. 3 things. Dream big. Be true to you. You are worth it. And I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen. And this is Life with Spice. So do you remember the video that came out after Christmas with all the spices? Organizing spices? And I had Tarragon in my cupboard and I didn't know what to do with it. I was like, I don't know. I got nothing. So I told you I was going to research it and I was going to figure something out for it. So that's what we're doing today. Tarragon. I'm so excited. Tarragon is Artemisia Dracunculus, which means little dragon. It's from the daisy family. French cooking call it king of the herbs. The French just, when it came around, I can't remember, there's some history to it, and the French just devoured it. They were just like, this is the thing. So if you have any real French cuisine, or maybe if you eat in France, they use a lot of tarragon. So we use the fresh leaves and stems. The fresh is superior to the dried. However, I didn't look at my grocery store. I just ordered some dried tarragon because I almost said Paragon, which is our bowling / bus station here. But yeah, so I just ordered it because I had read so many things where they're like, you can substitute. And one day I will have fresh tarragon. Maybe I'll try growing it and go from there. But for now, we have dried tarragon. So 1 tablespoon fresh to 1 teaspoon dried, which is a lot of spices. That's kind of a ratio. Fresh, so if you were using fresh and you are adding it to your cooking, add it at the end. Add it at the end of the cooking. If it's dried, you can add it earlier in the recipe, but if you add it fresh, it's going to turn bitter and you will not enjoy it. So as I was talking, it is a perennial. It's great to grow, and it actually keeps insects out of your garden. They don't like the smell of it. I'm gonna have to plant that the whole way around my thing with some those other ones I discussed. Cinnamon? No, that's I can't remember what was the one. There was another one you could plant on the outside of your garden. But yeah, helps keep insects away. Oh, we get some stupid little bugs. So like cilantro, you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. So maybe don't buy too big of a bag, or just try a little sprig, however it comes in the grocery store if you can find it. TheSpruceEats.com describes it as a complex flavor, bitter and licorice-like, with a touch of vanilla, mint, pepper, and eucalyptus. Now that's an intense flavor description. That's more like a flavor oil. Or not a flavor, a fragrance oil description that I get when I'm looking for fragrance oils. Like that's how they, and I'm just thinking all this into one little, I didn't even open it, you guys. All that in one little leaf. I don't know. Smells good? Maybe? Oh, one site said there's not that many health benefits to it. Yet, on the other hand, I found quite a few health benefits. Healthline.com, which is not what I typically go to, but it came up. They said that Taragon is full of manganese, which is good for brain health, metabolism, and reduction of oxidative stress. Sign me up. Also full of iron, which is the key to cell function, and potassium, which is crucial for your heart, muscle, and nerve function. That's a no-brainer on some of these. It can decrease blood pressure. The Russian style does. We'll get into that in a minute. It can actually help improve sleep and regulate sleep patterns. However, all of the Artemisia family are good. They're a good group of plants for sleep. However, I thought chamomile would fit into that, and it wasn't chamomile. It's mugwort, wormwood, sagebrush. Is that crazy? I don't think of those as sleep aids. I think of those as parasite aids. Interesting. This was good. This was good. It can increase the appetite by reducing leptin levels. Leptin levels. The appetite loss due to old age, depression, chemotherapy, and hormones. Really interesting, because I know sometimes people going through chemotherapy don't have much of an appetite and they need to eat. It can also relieve pain with osteoarthritis. And folk medicine, when you read about it, they used, it was big. They used it a lot for pain, which was interesting. And if you're going to do that, I would do a tarragon extract. You know, the tincture type thing. Might be easier. Also, antibacterial. Helps prevent foodborne illness like E. coli. It's a natural preservative. No, you cannot put it in your lotion as a preservative. We're talking food preservative. And not in your, yeah, you know, just like, you know, don't go overboard on that. It's also easy to add into your daily diet. It is great for heart health and can lower it can lower inflammation. Another site suggested that it is a digestive aid. It can be a sedative, which we did talk about. Helps production of bile by the liver. I like this one. I like that one. It also helps eliminate toxic waste in the body. Not by the body, okay? Not by the body. Toxic waste in the body. Stuff that you're holding in. And it also fights intestinal worms, which is what I was saying when I said mugwort and wormwood. Just like, what? It's cool. So cool. There's 3 basic kinds of tarragon. The French, which is widely known and best for cooking or flavoring drinks. I don't think we're doing a drink today, guys. Sometimes I think that's all we do is drinks. But anyway, the Russian has a weaker flavor than the French, but it produces more leaves. And like I said, the Russian was great for lowering blood pressure. Not sure why. There's also the third is the Mexican/Spanish. It's kind of in between the French and Russian flavor-wise. So it's a mid-grade, okay? Best for medicinal tea because there's more mint. And this one has little small golden flowers on it, which would be great to grow in the garden because it would give you some, you know, color besides just green. So with tarragon, you can make a tea. You can macerate it in oils. Infuse it in oils. They're just using a big word on us. Vinegars, marinades, and salad dressings. The vinegars and marinades are supposed to be like spectacular, like just stellar. A simple salad dressing. That ginger one is a heaven. If you have not tried the ginger salad dressing, yeah. Go back to the ginger video and try it. It's so good. I put it on tortillas, you know, like wraps and anything I can put it on. Yeah. Tarragon's really big in egg dishes, sauces, fish, beef, chicken. When I look on the internet, holy chicken. Tarragon and chicken, tarragon and chicken, tarragon and chicken. I'm like, do you guys do anything else with it? There was a couple of other things, and I'm not sure what we're going to do. I'm not sure, because I'm still kind of debating. There is a shrimp one, and my son loves shrimp, and I was thinking about doing that, and I think we're doing a vinegar, and yeah, I don't know if we're doing the chicken one, but I will link the link below that had some amazingly interesting unique recipes. There is one on there. It's strawberry chicken salad, like you'd put in a bun, you know, chicken salad. That looked really good. And there were so many other ones. I will link that below. Link. I have to write it down, or guys, I will forget. There's so many times I go back and I'm like, huh, I forgot to add this. I forgot to put this recipe in here. I forgot, yeah. It's a thing. So you got to remind me. If I forget to put something in there, remind me. Oh, yeah, chicken. It's also used in hollandaise sauce, or I'm going to slaughter this word. I'm going to take a note from Mrs. Soap and Clay, and I'm going to say this is pronunciation pending. Béarnaise sauce. It's a butter sauce that they put on steak. Yeah. That one I found, it wasn't too hard to do. Some of them are kind of extensive and add extra steps to make it difficult and so hard to try. But yeah, I did write that one down, but I would never remember to make it when we had steak anyway, so. But that's our tarragon. That's it on tarragon. That's not it on tarragon. We gotta do the tarragon. We gotta do all the things, right? So I will see you in the kitchen. Okay, to the tarragon shrimp and mushroom pasta. I don't know what I called it. But first you want to get your pot boiling for your noodles. And then you have a 1/4 cup butter in the pan. And cut up the mushrooms and the onions. And fry them in the butter till they're nice and soft. You know, tender. And don't forget to put your spaghetti noodles in there when the water boils. And okay, so set your timer for your noodles. And then we are going to add, now I'm doubling this recipe so it looks like more, but you're going to add 4 teaspoons flour to your mushroom and onion and butter mix. And you want to mix that all around till it's all nice and incorporated. And when you make a roux this way, you want to cook the flour and the butter just a little bit before you add your liquids. And we are going to be adding, so it's 1 1/4 cups chicken broth and 1/3 cup white wine. But I am adding my
red wine. And I'm adding the red wine first. If you do not want to use wine, you can just add more chicken broth. Now, I should have cooked the red wine down for about 5 minutes before adding my chicken broth. But I was trying to follow the recipe and do a good job. And I should have, I've been cooking a long time. I know better. But that's okay. So add the chicken broth. And you're going to cook that. And then you're going to add 4 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. Or the way I like to do it is mustard with a little bit of horseradish mixed in. Yeah. And then we add our tarragon, which is going to be approximately 1 teaspoon. I think it needed more. I think I would have even doubled that. And then we need the 1/2 teaspoon paprika and a 1/4 teaspoon black pepper. It needed garlic, you guys. It needed something else, or it needed more spices. It was good, but it was okay. Does that make sense? It wasn't Shazam. But anyway, and then you added your 1 pound of cooked shrimp and 1/3 cup heavy cream. And you just cook about 2 minutes to warm it up, and there you go. Serve it with Parmesan cheese. My sauce was a little runny, but I was told to keep the recipe. And now for simple tea, 1 teaspoon of your tarragon. It was very, very good, you guys. And 1 teaspoon honey. And then we're going to try and pour and film at the same time. And it made a very beautiful, delightful cup of tea. Should try it. Next, we're doing the tarragon vinegar. Use my apple cider vinegar. And it's about 2 cups in that jar. And what we are going to do with it is we're going to take it and put it into the microwave and heat it up for about a minute, minute and a half. It doesn't have to be boiling, it just has to be hot. Okay, and then in a clean jar, we are going to put in our spices. So we are going to do 2 teaspoons of our tarragon and about 1/2 teaspoon of black peppercorns. I mean, I've never made a vinegar I didn't like, guys, so you can't really screw it up. About 1/2 teaspoon of garlic, dried garlic. And I wanted some mint in here, so I am putting a couple sprigs of my pineapple mint. My mom's always asking what to do with pineapple mint, and here you go, Mom. And some lemon peel powder, about 1/2 teaspoon. I could not find my lemon zest, and so lemon peel powder is the same thing. So there you go. There's the herbs, and we could have doubled it really if we wanted to. We're gonna put it was hot. Pour the vinegar over the top, okay, and make sure you seal it with. I'm topping it off, just so it's to the top. And as usual, plastic or wax paper and plastic lid. Vinegar will eat through metal, you guys. It'll mold it. There you go. Shake it a couple times a day and leave it in there for 2 weeks and strain it off after 2 weeks. Not sure what to do with it? Throw a tablespoon in soup, stews. Make your own salad dressing with oil and vinegar. There's tons of ideas. To the green beans and tarragon. This was interesting, and I am posting the link below for, like I said, that really great article on all these recipes. So you need to start, it's a 1/2 cup of mayo. Any type, any brand, even homemade. That's just what I had on hand. And then we need lemon juice, 1/8 of a cup. And don't judge. I don't care what kind of lemon juice you use. And don't do what I did. I thought there was like the little squirty top in there. So I've got more of like 1/4 of a cup. And so what I will do is I will just double the recipe like usual. And then we need, let's see, if you want, you can put shallots or onions in there. You can then it's 2 teaspoons dried parsley and 2 teaspoons of our dried tarragon. And then we are doing black pepper, just a dash, however much you want. Give it a quick mix. And then my secret ingredient, sriracha sauce, about a half a teaspoon. Mix it up really good. And you can let it set for a little bit. Take a whisk to it. It needs a whisk. You can let it set for a little bit, but then we're going to start our green beans. So you can roast them in the oven, or you can fry them in a pan. And that's what I was doing today, because I had some frozen ones from my brother-in-law's garden. So you just add some oil and you fry them really quick, sizzle them, and top them with the dressing. It's really good. I was impressed. This would be great with asparagus too. And there you have it. Tanya's Witchy Kitchen, life with spice. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.